U.S. leg, or well, the second part of the U.S. leg of Rally 2020, Justice Rally for Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. I am here with Brandon Maddox and his lovely wife, Meredith, and also down there, well, you guys all know, Matt Havering Scotsman, down there, Mr. Capaldi. So welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you here for this event.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
thanks for having us. And we were on our way. We had a whole routed tour to go to Wisconsin a few months back, and it's a bummer we can't be there physically in person, but at least we get to do it this way.
We're all bummed out that we can't be. I wish I was there right now. I mean, I'll tell you that. So I'm actually itching to get there. I got things I want to go do, like investigate things that I want to go do. I'm planning like a week or two when I finally get there, but I'm waiting for COVID to lift. So I want to say hello to Daniel Holtzclaw over there. Hello, Jenny. That's Daniel Holtzclaw's sister over there in the chat, folks. Those of you who've been following my channel, I'm pretty fired up about the Daniel Holtzclaw case. I feel it's a textbook example of how investigators and prosecutors abuse the trust that the public puts in them, and in this case they did it to one of their own. So I just want to say you're welcome here. Thank you very much for being with us today, Jenny, and I want to just let everybody know that Daniel Holtzclaw and his family are a friend of the channel. I have very much sympathy for that family, like I do for the Averys and Ma and Pa and everything that's happened there. So I just wanted to say that. So thank you for being here. All right, now so obviously, I got Brandon here, folks. Some of you may know who Brandon is. Those of you who don't, let me just tell you, the way I became aware of Brandon was about 2 years ago, roughly, maybe a little more, give or take 2 years ago. He came out with a song that he was posting in the Stephen Avery Facebook groups that was to this day, I love this song. It's just a very haunting song. It's and the message of the song very much does it very easily applies to the agents of the state in Wisconsin and what's going on here with the Avery Dassey cases. And and that song was Time Will Tell on You, which was great. And obviously you went on to write other songs and everything, but I want to go ahead and give you a chance to let everybody know right now who you are, how they can find you, how people can support you. Because I know you've been having a little bit of a rough time here with COVID-19. You haven't been able to go out and do shows. So I want to give you the opportunity to let everybody know how they can help you and support you.
Yeah. Well, we were found at Brandon Maddox Music. We got a brand new revamped website. It's been terrible this year, to be totally honest.
Right.
We've had, thousands of dollars worth of shows canceled, as many artists have. So we are looking and itching to get back out there on the road and play some real face-to-face shows with everybody. We just had new management, it's a record label, but they haven't been able to act yet because the country's been on lockdown for the past couple of months. We're kind of been under house arrest, but how they can help is anytime we post, some kind of post on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Brandon Maddox Music. They can go there and they can share the videos. They can, get the music out there more.
Start watch parties and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Come on to the live parties. We do those every Friday night at 7:30 Eastern time.
I've been there for that, folks. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'd say it's probably 4:30 your time out west.
Yeah, it comes. Yeah, about 4:30, 5 o'clock roughly. It comes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's early everywhere else, but it's kind of still early evening over here in the eastern half of the country. So we'd love for you to come in. That would be great. We've been at this game a long time, and we appreciate all our friends.
Yeah, everybody. Absolutely. And folks, I'll be having Brandon on sometime this week, and we're gonna have him on again here, where I'm gonna be wearing my "Drive Me to Drink" shirt, which you're probably gonna be hearing here today. It's like I said, dude, this song should be playing on everybody's radio. I don't, the fact that it's not, is shocking to me. So it's a great song, and we're gonna get to that. But all right, now let's talk a little bit to Mr. Capaldi. How you doing down there, buddy?
I'm absolutely fine. Cheers, mate. How you doing?
I see your background is a complete forgery.
I want to know what have you done to the Scotland flag in the corner? Why is it draped the way it is?
Fan blowing on it, and so It's
Well,
trying
just stick
to
it down,
trying
pal.
to
Just stick it down.
follow, but it's running into trouble.
I've also got a question for
Well, it was sent to me by you. It could be Havering. Well,
yeah. Brandon, whereabouts do you stay?
Well, we
What
live
state are you in?
well, we live in Northwest Georgia actually at this time, so we're right on the Tennessee-Georgia line. You could spit and hit Georgia basically from where we're at. We did live in Nashville 12 years, but I'm originally from the area that last year we moved back to. So we
Right,
live,
okay.
yeah, we did
It's
that
just
because my family lives here. Go ahead.
lovely. No, it's just that in maybe 2 or 3 years' time that the plan is to do Route 66. I'm going to fly into LA, pick up the dude, and then go up to Chicago. We'll be going past pretty near where you are, won't we?
Well, give or take
Or not.
few miles, probably about
A few miles.
miles.
A few hundred, he said.
A few hundred miles. Dude, we might have to make a detour. I'm going to trust you with the map. Is that okay?
That's fine. I pretty good geography.
Hey, to be honest, the dude isn't that good at geography. I don't think I would trust him with a map. I think I would just go with a sat nav.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not often driving across America, so you might have a point.
Well, you got us to Nino, okay?
Yeah, I did.
You got us all the way to Nino and back again. You're okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't stop and get me a drink, even though you're advertising a song called "Drive Me to Drink," but you wouldn't drive me to drink.
Didn't we all see the video, the proof of it? Of you? Okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I don't want to take up all. I don't want to waste all the precious time we have with Brandon here.
Absolutely.
On that, so we'll get to your antics and how much you were drinking or not drinking a little bit later on. So, all right. So
I was just going to say to Brandon, obviously, I know of a few musicians in Scotland here that have done the same sort of thing, and they do live shows on Facebook, and they seem very, very popular. All power to you. I'm kind of fortunate in that as a musician, I'm also teaching, so I've concentrated on keeping trying to keep the teaching going, which has kept me reasonably busy, and obviously not having to go out and about and traveling. It's saved me a little bit, but yeah, it's hellish. I mean, here in the UK, we had the Chancellor immediately came out and said that people who are self-employed. And particularly mentioned musicians and sound engineers, how difficult it must be at this time, and offered a whole load of packages to people. But I presume that in America, you don't quite have the same sort of benefits. No. Is that right?
No. That's right. That's an awesome thing that the Chancellor did over there to bring awareness to that. But they don't really talk about it much here about how musicians are specifically impacted. They kind of lump us with maybe small businesses, but we don't get the kind of respect in America maybe that they do over there in the UK, the same benefits or whatever. Because we're hit one of the hardest industries. We were hit the worst because we can't reopen, as quickly.
Right.
Yeah,
we've been fortunate too in the fact that we can. I do some songwriting for people and work for hires, and so when somebody needs some songs written or whatever, they come to me with an idea and they say, well, I just broke up with my girlfriend or something. And then they say, well, I want this song to be kind of about this. And I write them a song and charge them money, and then they can keep the rights to it. So that's helping, with these times, these crazy times.
The classical you have with other, artists, if they're going to come to you and pay you to write something so they can have the rights to it. See, I mean, obviously, that says something about you and your reputation, I would say,
Yeah. I don't like to take somebody's copyright or anything like that away if I tell them, because that's part of it. They're kind of paying me off as a work for hire guy.
Right.
So I don't want to double dip and say, well, I got the rights now to your song that you want to keep so that you can sing it vicariously, so that I'm singing it and you're living vicariously through me when you sing this to your significant other,
Right, right. Absolutely.
in the history of classical music, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, all his life, all he ever lived off was off the proceeds of people paying him to write music. And he was not a wealthy man in his lifetime. In fact, he was buried in a pauper's grave. Everything that he ever wrote, he then handed over the manuscript and said, "There you go. There's your piece done." And then obviously he would get paid for that. And luckily, we have a historian who actually sort of collated all of the works and came up with the Mozart repertoire. Hence the reason why we have K numbers for Mozart as opposed to opus numbers, which are like the 17th century equivalent of albums. So you probably knew that anyway, didn't you, dude?
I knew a lot of that. I knew that he did work for hires. I didn't know all the sure that you said. But that's quite interesting, and hopefully I'm not headed for the pauper's grave. So.
Absolutely not. But don't, honestly, this guy here, he I'll get it right in a minute. This
Brandon,
where are you? There you are.
There. Oh, okay. Me, this guy. Oh,
Yeah.
There you are. This guy will definitely drive you to drink.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And the evidence was there at the last rally.
Yeah, that's true. That yeah, that's true. Yes.
Well, should I go ahead and play this
Plenty
song?
of evidence.
Maybe I should go ahead and play some "Drive Me to Drink" because we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
All right, so kick it off there, Meredith.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. I don't get behind the wheel with Jack Daniels riding shoddy. I watch Netflix, kick back and chill when I've had a few hot toddies. I hate to say you make me crazy, but you bring me to the brink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. Hot and cold, man, it gets old when love stops being due. You put your best foot forward, but what the hell did I step into? You and I are like fire and ice, up is down and black is white. The only reason we make up is to start another fight. I don't get behind the wheel with Jack Daniels riding shoddy. I watch Netflix, kick back and chill when I've had a few hot toddies. I hate to say you make me crazy, but you bring me to the brink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. It's a tug of war, we both want more. A love we love to hate. Retreating back once we've attacked, no white flags ever raised. Swear we die without each other. Can't live with what we got. So mad you're cute, I gotta drop my boots and pick up one more shot. I don't get behind the wheel with Jack Daniels riding shoddy. I watch Netflix, kick back and chill when I've had a few hot toddies. I hate to say you make me crazy, but you bring me to the brink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. You're like the bottom of this bottle I don't want to see. I breathe you in like cigarettes. I know you're bad for me. Yeah, I know you're bad for me. I don't get behind the wheel with Jack Daniels riding shoddy. It's Netflix marathons and chill when I've had a few hot toddies. Hate to say you make me crazy, but you bring me to the brink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. I don't drink and drive, but you drive me to drink. Erekose, yes you do.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Maybe I do. I mean, hey, it's not like I'm on YouTube talking about rainbows and lollipops. So anyway.
Yeah.
So, I love that song, dude. I freaking love it. It's like I say, dude, that song, it should be on the radio, man. It should be played on the radio. That's like, and it's, to me, it's iconic. It's, but it's also like, could also be used by the people that are trying to promote not drinking and driving. And I mean,
Right.
I see so many marketable aspects to that song. I don't know how it's not on everybody's radio right now. It's just like unbelievable. But hopefully we'll get it there eventually. That's what I hope anyways. It's a great song, dude. That's a really, really good one. So I understand why people come to you and pay you money to write them songs. I mean, it's, you can kind of understand with that one. So now, to get to the one that I was talking about, the reason when I first became aware of you was Time Will Tell on You. And I haven't played that, folks, right now. And I think this is just, I mean, Brandon will tell you, he honestly didn't write the song with Avery Dassey in mind. It was a love song. But when he started watching Making a Murder and stuff, he started thinking about how lyrics of this song really did fit in. And I agree with him 100% because there's some sentiment in this song that I really want to hit home for the bad actors in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to go ahead and play that one now. This is Time Will Tell on You by Brandon Maddox, folks.
You can tell yourself and all our friends I was wrong and you were right. But your sins that happened in the dark will come out in the light. I'm not gonna waste my breath. I won't put up a fight. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. And time will tell. Time will tell on you. When the train whistles far away, and when the cold wind blows, when the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. That the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. And time will tell. Time will tell on you. No one may ever say a thing, but surely as the seasons change, when you feel everything that points at you, 'cause you're to blame. No, the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. And time will tell. Time will tell on you. It's gonna tell on you.
Yep, I love it, dude. I love that song. I do. I love the sentiment of it and everything. It's just great.
Very much, yeah. That's one of those songs that, got me into doing this. Got me into writing other songs for Stephen and Brendan, and I hope, I wish that we could have gotten them out before all this other stuff with the things across the country, protests that have taken place, because that's clearly bad, non-justice or injustice. That's what's going on with them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, folks. So I obviously, developed, well, I developed a friendship with him, but then also you ended up with over on Rubber Ducky's channel, and so Brandon started getting around, and everybody started kind of becoming aware of Brandon. And eventually you went on to write, you know, a couple other songs. And one of those would have been Man Up Manitowoc, which obviously as you were done writing it, you literally recorded an early version on your iPhone and sent it over to me. And I remember listening to it. I was just like, I was listening to the words and everything going, yes, 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 dude. It's like, it's calling them out. I mean, it's a lot of energy to it. It's forceful. It's, you know, it's in your face. It has all that energy. And I remember just saying one thing is that I was like, oh, and you've told me in the past, you know, that you knew this before I said it, but I was just thinking, yeah, it just needs to just get a little bit of a patience in between kind of each verse, and I think boom. And anyway, so that's Man Up Manitowoc. You want to explain a little bit for everybody the process in writing that one?
Yeah, it was just the title Man Up Manitowoc just kind of came to me one day. I was just kind of walking around the house thinking, man, these people just need to man up and stop being pansies up there, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Man Up Manitowoc, that's kind of a catchy little title, catchy thing. And I started thinking, well, what the heck am I going to rhyme with Manitowoc? So then I went down that road of thinking, okay, so it's going to have to be kind of a near rhyme or something that maybe doesn't rhyme with all of the word. It's got to hit the walk part of it, but it didn't have to hit the Manitowoc part of it.
Right.
And we're just kind of brainstorming about that. And then I just, you know, sat down with my guitar and kind of did what I always do, you know, let it kind of come to me and type it out as it happened and say, well, that's not good. This is good. Let's keep this. Let's ditch that, you know, and start making a song out of it.
Right on. Yeah. And like I said, I like it. You know, just the in your face style of it. And, you know, come on, you know, we're sitting here pointing out all this crap that, you know, is obviously not right. And you're all just sitting there quietly, you know, so for me, it was perfect. Just calling them out for their, you know, obviously, how would you put it? Strategic silence is the way I would describe it. You know, so. All
that's
right.
a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to go ahead and play that one for everybody, I think everybody will enjoy that.
Okay. Let me just make sure. I think I'm a little out of tune real quick. So let me just make sure this air in the house is blowing on the guitar, getting it out of tune.
You go ahead a little bit, and I'll talk to the people here. So, folks, yes, they're posting the links over here for Brandon on Facebook and everything. That's where they do their stuff on Friday night, folks. So you want to catch them on Facebook. That's where you're going to catch the live shows they do there and that sort of stuff. So follow those links. That's where you can find these guys. And that's where they put out most of the content. So, anyways, we love Brandon here. He's a hardworking guy, and you know, I can't. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He deserves the success that I hope is coming his way. So,
thank you very much, and thank you guys for posting the link out there too on there for Facebook and our lives too. Really appreciate that. We were talking to our friends till 2 a.m. last night that we met off of our Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey supporting group. So we were talking to him pretty late, talking about music and just catching up with him. So it was pretty cool.
Right. Okay. Here we go. You guys. Man Up Manitowoc, folks. Here we go.
Tell me why. Sorry, I blanked for a second. Tell me how long are you gonna keep up the charade? You're lying covered up, that's why you're lying in this bed you made. The truth is coming out, you might as well come clean. You framed an innocent man, now your picture doesn't fit you. Your gun's blowing smoke, but you're denying. So bite the bullet you claimed was his. Get some guts and admit what you did. And man up, Manitowoc. Let's hear from your lips and see you on the dawn. We've had enough childish games, Michigan. The world wants to know if you got So you took a man's life for a life it didn't take. And ground her in a cell. What difference does it make? Framing somebody should really be a crime. You hide like sissies behind your cronies. Step out and prove you got the cojones to man up. Man to what was here from your lips. I see you on the top. We've had enough childish gamesmanship. The world wants to know if you've got stuff to man up, man to walk. The way you bungled the blues with no choice but think that you're in on it too, and the real killer's still on the loose. How can you sleep when the best that you had in this case is a coerced confession, and you say you're so sure? What's his answer? Was it yours to the $36 million question? It's time to man up, man into walls. Hear from your lips, I see you on the top. Clean house, right down to your last crooked cop. You've blown it, so want it. Wisconsin bottom to top. It's time you got on it and man up. Your judgment day is coming to walk. To walk.
Yes. All right, folks. You see what I mean, man? That one's more forceful. It's more, in your face. I love it. I love it, dude.
Thank you very much. Can I play one more that you haven't heard in a while? And it's called "God Is Up to Something."
Sure. I have a few other things to ask you to play, but yeah, you can play that one too.
Okay. And
I'm hoping you and Meredith will do Jackson for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And I did listen to Ooby Dooby once through and tried to, and I've got it pretty good, but
I'll be happy to hear you give it a go.
Okay. All right. I'll play this one, and then we'll maybe do Ooby Dooby or Jackson. One or two, figure it out. This is a song that I wrote, not necessarily in the beginning with Stephen Avery and Brendan in mind, and I rewrote the second verse with Stephen and Brendan in mind. So that's the song. 81 Chevy and a flatbed, loaded up and all tied down. Tears rolling down Mama's cheeks as we rolled on out of town. Shop doors closed, but I didn't know what that does to a family man. Daddy knew back then what I've come to understand. When you've held on for so long and hope is out of breath, when you're breaking and faith has taken its last step, when you're falling and just barely crawling, an unseen hand is working. When you're down to nothing, God is up to something. You've been dealt a raw deal and there's no way to feel, but the world is so unjust. And each screeching cell door drives a damaging more, like your last prayer being crushed. Been way too long, locked away, but hold on, the truth will finally tell. Cause someone's listening, bigger than the system, and his justice never fails. Cause when you've held on for so long, and hope is out of breath, when you're breaking, faith has taken its last step. When you're falling nothing. God is up to something. There's a greater plan going on. And every storm the sun's above with a blessing up his sleeve. He's been saving all along. But just the right time when you're thinking nothing else could go wrong. Cause when you've held on for so long and hope is out of breath, when you're breaking and faith has taken its last step, when you're falling and just barely crawling, an unseen hand is working. When you're down to nothing, yeah, when you're down to nothing, God is up to something. God is up to something.
That is a beautiful song, dude. I like that. That was very good.
Thank you very much.
We don't always understand the rhyme and the reason in life, you know? I mean, but yeah, sometimes things like what we're doing right now, trying to fight for Stephen and Brennan and wrongful convictions and get the system to recognize what it's getting wrong. And you know, sometimes it takes a lot of things. It takes right timing. It takes the right people to be in the right mind at the right times and in the right places in government and in various places for the right types of things to happen. And so when you say God must be up to something, or for those of you who believe in a higher power, or however you might believe in your, you know, higher power, but you know, there's always something going on. I just dig that. It's a powerful lyric in that song. So I just wanted to say that. So
thank you. It's meant to bring some hope in a time where, you know, a lot of people get down in normal times. Well, right now, there's more reason than ever to be kind of depressed, if you will. So, you know, it's meant to bring some hope for a kind of dark time that's going on at the moment. So maybe it'll, you know, turn around your day, bring around some sunshine to whoever's listening to this today.
Absolutely. So,
yeah. Do you want to hear Ubi or Jackson? Which one do you want to hear?
Let's see. I think we'll try Ubi Doobie on the way out. I think we want to go ahead and have everybody see. You guys just got to see how these two shine when they do Jackson. It's great. I love it. And then later on, after we're done with Brandon and Meredith here, we're gonna see a similar moment with Mr. Capaldi and his wife Eunice. But we'll get to that in a second.
Awesome. All right, we'll do a little Jackson here. June, you ready?
I guess.
2, 3, 4. Well, we got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. Oh, I'm going to Jackson. I'm gonna mess around. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. Look out, Jackson.
Well, go on down to Jackson. Go ahead and wreck your hill.
I'll have fun doing it.
Go play your hand, you big talking man. Make a big fool of yourself. Yeah, go Jackson. Go comb your hair.
Honey, I'll snowball Jackson.
See if I can.
Well, when I breeze into that city, then people gonna stoop and bow. All them women gonna make me teach them what they don't know how. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson. You turn loose of my toes. Yeah, I'm going to Jackson.
Goodbye, that's all she wrote. dancing on a pony kid.
That'll be quite a sight.
They'll lead you around like a scalded hound with your tail tucked between your legs. Yeah, go Jackson, big talking man, and I'll be waiting in Jackson behind my J-Pan plan.
Well, we got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out. Oh, I'm going to Jackson. That's a fact. Yeah, we're going to Jackson. Ain't never coming back. Well, now we got married in a fever, hotter than a pepper sprout. We've been talking about Jackson ever since the fire went out.
Right on, guys. I love it when you guys do that one. I know you guys get asked for that a lot, and maybe you don't always want to do it, but I appreciate it. It's you guys really do that one pretty well. It's really entertaining to watch.
So just a quick question. That's obviously a song about getting married and getting hooked up and everything. And is the follow-up song "The Man of Constant Sorrow"?
Oh,
is that the one that comes?
I think it is. In reality,
Yeah.
that's a good.
or Drive Me to Dream.
Or yeah, there you go. Or Drive Me to Drink. There you go.
I've come up with those witty remarks at some point in my life.
So, oh my God, that's great. Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, what really does it is Meredith's facial expressions while Brandon's singing and then while she's singing, it's like they sell it more. I mean, as much as the music and the story of the song, her facial expressions really sell it. I just love it. That's why I always ask for it. So, so now, folks, this is going to be a bit of a funny thing because probably the last 3 or 4 times that I've had Brandon on the channel, I've asked. I usually have him do one song that's not MAM. It's a popular song everybody you might know, or at least a popular song out there. And it's been Ooby Dooby. And I've been asking him to do Ooby Dooby by Roy Orbison. And he last few times he's like, oh, I haven't got a chance to check that one out yet. Well, he's taking a chance, or he's taking a look at it. He's going to take a stab at it today. I actually love this song. And the reason why I originally asked Brandon to play this song is because it was Roy Orbison was a very, very big, huge favorite of my father. And he's no longer with us, but that was why I originally asked for the song in the first place. So I'm very excited to see how well you get it done right here. But I'll understand if it's not perfect.
It won't be perfect, but it'll be as close as I can make it. Hearing it one time today or 2 times today and playing through it, I don't think I've really ever,
It's a pretty simple song, right? I mean,
no, it's an easy song. It's just like the phrasing parts of it.
right.
That's the only part about it. So I'll give it a stab here. Give it a whirl.
All right. Sounds good.
Hey, baby, jump over here to the Ooby Dooby. I want to be near Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby Doo-wah, Doo-wah, Doo-wah. Well, you wriggle to the left and you wriggle to the right. Do the Ooby Dooby with all your might. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby, Dooby Doo-wah, Doo-wah, Doo-wah. Yeah, you wriggle and you shake like a bit of rattlesnake. You do the Ooby Dooby till your finger heart break. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby, Dooby Dooby, Doo-wah, Doo-wah, Doo-wah. Well, you won't be a strutting, cause now you know how to do the Ooby Dooby. Now, baby, let's go. Ooby Dooby. Ooby Dooby.
it, dude. That was really good. That was pretty good. I love it. Oh yeah, that was one of and obviously Roy Orbison's one of those ones. He was a bit of a crooner. He had that kind of voice. But oh yeah, I mean, it's funny to me because when I think about that song, sometimes I also think about, because it was one of my dad's favorites, but I also think about the Star Trek movie, the one with the Borg, and at the end, they end up meeting with the Vulcans on Earth or whatever, and Zephram Cochrane hits the jukebox, and it's Ooby Dooby that starts playing. So like, I now always think of that part. So anyways, but no, thank you for doing that. Thank you for checking that song out and learning that. That was a lot of fun. I've been wanting to have that one here on the channel for a while, so that was great. That was a lot of fun. Thank you. And I know you guys may have somewhere to go, or I don't know how much time you guys might have, but
just one point, Brandon. If you ever come to Scotland, if you want to entertain half of Scotland, learn Penny Arcade by Roy Orbison. Half of Scotland will absolutely love you for that one.
Oh, wow.
Are you familiar with Penny Arcade?
Penny Arcade, Roy Orbison?
Roy Orbison, Penny Arcade, yeah. The people from Scotland in the chat will fully understand what I'm on about. It's one of these ones that divides the country. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Okay? You can check it out. It's for me it's a good song. It's like many of the other great songs that have been sort of ambushed, shall we say, by certain communities. But anyway, look, Penny Arcade, Roy Orbison, well worth checking out.
We'll check it out
for sure.
Yeah. You said right. you're a Roy Orbison fan, dude.
Well, my dad was. My dad was a huge Roy Orbison fan.
Check out the record collection, dude. Check out the record collection. It'll be there somewhere.
Okay.
1967.
All right.
I was 2 years old, so I'm not going by memory, just by what history tells me. Okay.
Yeah, I could try to go find a record player and all that stuff, or I could probably just type a search in on YouTube. So anyway,
you'll get it. You'll get it on YouTube. No problem on YouTube, honestly, dude.
If half of Scotland's listening to it, it's probably on YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
We hope to get over there to Scotland and England and the whole UK coming up in the near future. So we hope to.
I'm hoping to as well. This COVID-19 thing is a real pain in the butt, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. So, are you guys on to your next call, or do you guys have a little longer? What are you guys looking like on time?
Well, we got a little bit more. Do you want another song? Do you want to chat? Maybe another 2
We can chat. We can chat a bit. I mean, why don't you? I mean, as we're here talking, I mean, why don't you guys tell us about when you guys sat down and watched Making a Murder, and kind of what it was like for you as you progressed into becoming supporters?
Yeah. Well, we watched, of course, the first one first, and we were in Florida when we were on tour in Southwest Florida, Naples, Marco Island, Fort Myers, during that time. And so we started just watching it, and it was like, something that we watched late at night when we got done with a gig, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then we were fighting mad about all of it.
Yeah, then we couldn't sleep because we were mad about the whole thing.
Right.
So that was the first one, but then we had a pretty good idea that we were 9 out of 10 steps there with believing that it was a total injustice, with what happened. Then with the second one, with all the time and motion study stuff and the things that Kathleen Zellner did more as evidence and, trying to prove it with that, then it just brought it that much more home. That it couldn't have been Stephen and it had to have been someone else. So we kind of went that phase, but I was already thinking probably, most likely, 99% that, I was going to try to get involved with this case and try to do what I could to help through song and through music.
Well, after we finished the second series, we felt like there was still so much that we needed to know and so much that was still in question, and we were just still so angry about it, angry and sad and everything about it. And so we just got to searching around online thinking we can't be the only ones that feel this way. There's got to be other people that we could get connected with that feel this way. And so we kind of started searching around, and so we were able to find you, and we were able to find Fresh Start Monday and Brother Becky. And so really just started immersing ourselves and getting caught up with where y'all were, because you were a little bit ahead of us, in this.
Right.
So we were trying to get caught up and learn, and then the more that we learned and the more that we were involved, the more innocent we felt like he was, and especially the injustice for Brendan, is just totally heartbreaking for Stephen too. But I don't know, I feel a little bit more for Brendan. I don't know, and
Right.
Brandon felt like, what can I do? I can't change the report, but I can write a song and I can tell the story and talk about the injustice with people. So.
Right. Yeah.
And Jamie and I were talking last night. That's who I was talking to till 2 a.m. Was Jamie Hart.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah.
And we were both.
I was trying to get him in on this, but he had a surprise Father's Day thing happen at his house, and so.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have been cool. He was. He and I were talking, and we talked about the fact that we know that there's been this huge injustice with this, and really, that's about all that really we feel like kind of needs to be said, and then just promote the heck out of it. Just
Right.
awareness and promotion, and bring more people, make more people aware of that. I know there's a lot of technical things you get into with this. There's the queso reports, and there's the all the things that people have spent so much time, and I admire that some people have really poured over this stuff and spent sleepless nights over this case, multiple and I feel for that. But then you get into when you go down that trail, you almost get into there's been another cover up with how factual is what I just read in this queso report. Has that been sabotaged? Has that had problem by the law enforcement? So you always go back to how credible is the information. Then you find these things that don't add up and don't make sense. And at the end of the day, you just know it's been, it's been messed with. That all the stuff, the queso stuff, it's kind of been manipulated. So the bottom line is just spread the word and focus your energy there. I feel like, and try to get as many people to know about the case as possible.
Right. Yeah, that's the goal. And it's part of why I've obviously been big about encouraging other people to get vocal about the case. So and we've been seeing it happen. I mean, certainly there's been a lot more YouTubers bringing up. Obviously Foul Play's over there doing a great job. Gotta give them props over there at Foul Play. That's a research community. They're all continuing to work together in the same effort, in the same direction, and so my hat's off to them. They're doing a lot of great work over there. That was, I remember what it was like in the first year. I don't know, you guys probably weren't there, but the first year, I was in literally. Making a Murderer came out December 2015. So by January 15th of 2016, I'm watching it with my girlfriend. And it took us 2 nights. I started it one night. We got to the end of episode 5, basically right where we're seeing Andy testifying in court about, whether or not he was behind the RAV4 when he was calling it in, right? So, and that was where we left off. And then I went to work the next day and was rattling all those things that from the first 5 episodes around in my head. And while I'm at work that day, get home, I'm like, come on, grab it, my girlfriend, let's go, come on, because I can't wait. I'm like, I want to get it back on as soon as possible. Watch the last 5 episodes, and it was like,
oh right, the TV program.
Day,
okay,
yes. What? Anyways, by the next day, after watching the last 5, or watching all 10, by the next day, I'm at work. And I'm just thinking about it. I can't stop. The whole thing, I'm like, what's going on there? There's something wrong there. And, I was the same way. So then I started digging in. And for that first year, you had 20 to 30,000 people at any given time on Facebook. And everybody was learning together.
Yeah, we couldn't stop watching it. We were glued to it. Once we started, we were binge watching it. So it was completely to where we were obsessed with it. Couldn't sleep at night. I think it was January 2016 when we first started watching the Making a Murderer series, and it was kind of really gaining popularity at that time.
Yeah.
Meredith brought it up and said, "There's a new show out there that's kind of popular with, people right now, and it's called Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
And so we started watching it, and almost instantly we were just sucked into it, and couldn't stop and got upset about it, and then it was just validated. The more we got into it, there had just been some terrible things.
But what I was getting at though is about how these research communities are. I mean, we had like 20, 30,000 people back in that first year, and it was wild watching everybody all together, learning about all this, digging stuff up, and but yeah, I mean, it was a heck of an experience, and I mean, and I think for those people that are watching Rally right now, I mean, you guys are, a lot of people may not know what it was like in the beginning, but that's what it was like. You had 10, 12, 15 Facebook groups full of people. The family group had 80,000 people in it before the eventual takeover that ended up happening, a bunch of drama. But we had, there was just all these people. It was immense. So it's like I said, getting back to what my original point was on that is that seeing the group of the community that Foul Play has formed and the kind of content they're putting out is really great. It's really I got to say my hat's off to them. So. I don't know what's going on with you there, Paul. I mean, are you okay now?
I'm fine, dude.
Okay, right on.
You're gonna have to rewind and just listen to what you just said, because I'll tell you, when you were talking about Anyway, I'm not gonna. Oh dear, that was funny.
Okay, well.
Okay. Yes, I'm absolutely fine. I know exactly what you mean. I appreciate the fact that there are some people for whom they want to see things done immediately, don't they? I mean, we get all the time this incredulity that somehow, that President Obama didn't just immediately bring a stop to that there, and then they say, I'm the president, I'm going to bring a stop to it. Well, it doesn't quite work like that, does it, folks? It's, as I was saying last in my slot, Wisconsin, it's like a population of nearly 6 million. It's bigger than Scotland. You've got to think of each state as like a separate country that have got their own laws. They've got their own government. They've got their own system. The people in charge are the governors of each state. They are like kings, or if you like, dictators. Whatever way you want to call it. But they're the people in charge. And other people have said, well, why hasn't the FBI stepped in? And it's a good question. It's because they've never been invited to look at this case, have they?
Yeah, that's what makes
when the FBI is.
I mean, the checks and balances, on the country is what makes our nation run, with different branches, executive and judicial and legislative. And basically, you see what's, not to get political here or anything, but you see what's going on all across the country, with the rallies and protests. They're having an impact. They're making things happen. They're destructive when they do it a lot of times. But if cities were, protesting Brendan and Stephen like they are Black Lives Matter and everything like that, change would happen. Some serious change would occur, because that's the type of protesting that needs to go on, is get these two innocent men out of prison. And I think that, it's people, and it's an organized nucleus that's causing the whole thing with what's going on today. Let's learn from them, and let's implement Stephen Brendan. How can we do that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good comes out of these rallies eventually, in that the opinions start to change, and just the fact that you're always going to get people who are very hard line, and follow the idea that why are they out there protesting? There's no need to be out there protesting. But then there's other people that are going to there's going to be people sort of in the middle that are going to say, this is wrong. Things need to change, and that's going to be for the benefit, dare I say it, of the Stephen Brendans of the future. And at the moment, obviously, we want to see Stephen Brendan, start to get the benefit of this. It might, these protests, they might just change the sort of, the political mentality of people in power to realize, enough is enough. You cannot keep holding on to this ever rising balloon, which is the falsehood that somehow you got the right killers of Teresa Halbach. And everybody's telling you that you're wrong. Why are you holding on to this ever rising balloon? What on earth is it that is causing you to do this? Is it just embarrassment that you got it wrong?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The changing mentality that could come from this that's going on. But also, I'm just basically asking, what can we learn from what's going on in the world today and how they're making change happen in that realm? What good, bad, whatever you think about it, whatever the consensus is with the way you stand for that or against that doesn't matter. But what can you learn from it to try to promote Brendan and Stephen getting out of prison is what I'm basically trying to get at.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be a case of, in just a few days' time. What was it, 25th? Was that right, dude? 25th, when Zellner's reply is due?
Yeah, I believe that was. Well, unless it was extended. Was it extended?
Well, yeah, but it was to the end of this month. Was it the 25th or the 29th? I can't remember.
It would have to be the 25th.
I thought it was the
29th before, so it must be the 25th. I think it was due on March 29th. I think it was originally.
Yeah, I know. But it's.
Anyways, it's due soon. Yes. I'm not sure.
Literally, I think within a few days, to be honest, because I doubt whether Kathleen Zellner is going to leave it to the very last minute to put in her reply, is she?
No, probably not. Probably not. If it's ready, she'll file it most likely.
But yes, somebody's put the 29th. Yes.
There we go. That's Rhonda.
Yeah. So Rhonda. Yeah, I'm just trying to say.
Nobody's going for the 25th.
Zellner, her thing. Can we do anything? As Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey supporters all across the nation, and have people go to those cities and rally people who are supporters, find other ones, connect with them in those cities. I believe that's what's going on here with the world today. Not to get too political once again, but I think that if we approach things that way, they've made change happen very quickly. I mean, it's gone. We've seen in 3 or 4 months the world come to a stop. Less than that, really, for the protests and the rallies. So, what can we do ourselves to do that? Can we plant people purposely in cities and gather and rally? And maybe not do it violently, but do it peacefully in such number that it overwhelms the town.
Yeah.
They're blocking off things in Seattle. They're doing things in different cities, and they're causing a little bit of inconvenience for the city. But they're not. You don't have to turn it into violence. You can do it where it just is an inconvenience on everyone in that city, including the politicians, and try to get change to happen that way. But you need a nucleus of people in each town to do that. It seems like an effective way. It seems like they're making change happen. So what can we learn from it?
Right. It's true, and I mean, that's where it starts. Really making a change. But I would also caution people about, you got to sometimes think about how much change you're looking for, and you got to remember there's people that you're going to be dragging along with you when you do create your change. So you always want to take into account all those things. It's not fun to be dragging people along. So there's just things for people to consider about. But I do believe our criminal justice system needs to address some issues right now. I believe SCOTUS missed a big opportunity here this last week in at least lowering the bar on qualified immunity. I mean, they could have at least done that. I mean, show the little tiniest bit of conciliation, just something that they're like, okay, wait, maybe our attitude is causing this thing to spiral out of control, and that they could have made some little gesture, but they chose, fuck you, America, and that was what they chose. So that's where SCOTUS is. It sucks, but that's where SCOTUS is, because our America was on fire for some time there, for a couple of days. SCOTUS don't care. Their ivory towers didn't burn, so they're fine. Fuck you, America, is what their attitude is. And yeah, I'm being a bit blunt about it. I'm being extremely blunt about it. But it's not like this is the first thing they've done that pissed me off. They snubbed Brendan Dassey. You
Yeah.
snubbed Brendan Dassey, you were already getting on my bad side. And now this? Oh, you Ivory Tower fuckfaces need to go fuck yourselves. Sorry I used the F word so many times. I don't usually do that. But SCOTUS has inspired me. What do you want to say? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that's quite a lead in. That's quite a segue there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it really needs to. It's almost like it's not even, sometimes left and right. It's Washington versus America. Sometimes, it's not even, the whole system up there. I'm not talking about the president. I'm not talking about anybody that's one person, but it's their ways of doing things versus what the American people would like to see as a way of doing things and carrying out whatever it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is you've got people that want to preserve the status quo and they don't want to change things, and certainly we saw that. I wouldn't go advocating that the judges do what you've advocated they go and do, but I would say that they are a bunch of cowards. I would say absolutely they are a bunch of cowards.
Well, let's talk about it.
And they've just washed their hands of everything and just said nothing to do with us.
Right.
You sorted it out. When in actual fact, when if you've been given the power to do some good with it. But don't just procrastinate and just leave it for somebody else to do later on. It's
okay, so let's talk about it, Paul. I mean, you say maybe you wouldn't suggest my suggestion, which is that they could have.
But it's a physical impossibility.
They could have done the small thing of lowering the bar for qualified immunity. Because let's talk about how high that bar is currently set. Right now, if you want to bring a civil suit against a police officer that has violated your constitutional rights, here's what needs to happen. That city you're in has to have had the same exact thing happen to another citizen with the same sets of facts and circumstances, and the cop has to have been found guilty in that jurisdiction previously. So there has to be an entire case previous to yours that exists that's just like yours, where a cop was found to be in the wrong for that set of circumstances. Then you can go ahead and file a civil suit against an officer that violated your civil rights. Then you have to, number one, prove your civil rights were violated. Then you can possibly, whatever. So they basically made it where it's impossible to bring a civil suit against a police officer. So therefore, they don't have to fear that. It's something they don't have to worry about when they're standing on guys' necks or kneeling on guys' necks or shooting poor guys like Philando Castile who were just reaching for their driver's license and these types of things. They don't have to fear. And it's because the Supreme Court eggheads are allowing it. Yeah. However, Congress, there are politicians, there are congressmen now already getting ready to put together legislation to knock out qualified immunity. They are going to take away the Supreme Court's ability to cobble together case law the way they have with qualified immunity. So I think Ivory Tower eggheads at SCOTUS, I think you guys screwed yourself. I think you could have made an adjustment to qualified immunity that might have ended up being serviceable, but now you're going to probably get it wiped out completely by doing nothing. So anyways, that's my thought on that.
Well, my reply, thank you for that nice introduction, was, what is worse?
Erekose gets ahead of steam.
Qualified immunity for the police or absolute immunity for prosecutors and judges. Yeah. What is worse?
Well, the problem
I think your DAs, your likes of Ken Kratz, that have this absolute immunity, I think that's far worse. Or
just as bad or worse, right?
Yeah. But I think if you're going to try and get rid of this qualified immunity, probably you need to go for the absolute immunity that the DAs have, and then work backwards.
Well, either way, I mean, Jerry Buting saw a senator suggesting that they take away qualified immunity for police officers, and he was making the suggestion that he also think about considering prosecutors as well. So I think both need to be considered because prosecutors are doing nasty things as well. I'll point out, like Fallon, just like Mark did in his opening segment, pointing out Fallon at Brendan's trial in closing arguments. Last thing the jury's going to hear before they go into deliberations, and he tells this whopper of a lie to the jury, and nobody stops him, nobody corrects him, and he says, the defendant, people who are innocent don't confess. The defendant confessed because he did it. Okay, that is a lie. People who are innocent do confess. That happens way too often. And so he told that lie. Now let's move to Daniel Holtzclaw, just to get back to that for a second. The prosecutor in the closing arguments of that case told the jury, even though their own expert, DNA expert, testified that it was trace DNA on Daniel's zipper of his pants, and basically said it was most likely from transfer, from like touching something that belonged to the person from your hands and touching it and to transfer in that way. The state's own DNA expert said this. The state's DNA expert said they did not test for bodily fluid, so they don't know. They didn't test for bodily fluid. They believe it was skin cells only, but they didn't test to see if it was urine, blood, or saliva, or anything like that. In the closing statement, the prosecutor basically alludes to the fact that one of the victims' vaginal fluid and all kinds of stuff is on Daniel's pants, and it's not true. There's no proof of any of the things that he makes in that comment. And that's the last thing the jury hears before they go into deliberation. You got to understand that. The prosecution gets the last go. They're the last thing that the jury hears before they go into deliberations. And to be allowed to tell big whoppers of lies like that has got to change. It can't be acceptable. It's got to.
So who should intervene? Sorry, Brandon.
The judge. Does it come down to what's it called? Ineffective assistance of counsel if the defense doesn't object during that point? I mean, when there's all this like thing between lawyers where they don't like to object during each other's final opening or final statements, right? So there seems to be there's always this little thing that they have with each other, this kind of whatever. So maybe they don't object. I don't know what it is, but something needs to happen because we just can't have prosecutors lying and telling lies to the jury right before they go into deliberations. That's just not acceptable practice.
We're going to have to head on, guys, but we've enjoyed hearing this. We're behind everything, and we're behind you guys and what you're doing right now, and in agreement over here. We'll try to check in, in a little while, as this continues on. But we got to head and go get some things done. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Are you not going to stay and listen to Erekose sing the British national anthem? God save the Queen.
Nobody's going to hear that.
I might just have to stay on a little longer.
We're not. We're going to be playing Paul and his wife singing though. But anyways, but thank you guys for being here. Everybody, go check out Brandon over on Facebook and show them some love and support over there. Like you were saying, has been tough for him and other musicians during this time. So go over and show them some love, guys. Thanks for being here, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. See you.
All righty. Mr. Capaldi is now off camera. So, all right, let's I'm going to go ahead and bring in my next guest then because I don't know where the hell Paul went. So, all right. How's it going?
Hey, finally. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going? So,
it's going great show so far. Good stuff. I have to throw in definitely it was Star Trek First Contact you were talking about.
Yeah,
Zephyr Cochrane, with the Vulcans there. I love that song. I love that Orbison song.
All right, so let's see here. Let's play a little something since he decided to run away. Let's do a little something here, folks. This is Paul and his lovely wife. This is a rally last year at our rally house. Some of you will remember the other video with the dance off. But this one, I believe, this takes place before the dance off, or maybe it takes place on another night.
I thought we were finished. I thought that was it. End of that. Brandon said cheerio. I thought that was it. Thought that was end of.
Well, that's because you're a mad statsman who doesn't pay attention to what the rally event is and what the time parameters were set forth. So that's not my fault. That's just your Avery. So, all right, moving on. So this is Paul and his lovely wife, Eunice. Obviously, you're going to hear Denise Rainey, who good friend of ours, who recently passed away. And we're all very sad about that. But you're going to hear her. You're going to hear various other Wrecking Crew members and people here. But mainly, you're going to be hearing the duet by Paul and his lovely wife, Eunice. And without further ado, here we go.
Luckily, I don't hear a thing. Oh. Singing. You can stop just a moment when it finishes. Just for a minute.
Eunice sounds all right, but God, Paul, God save our ears, dude.
Hot kettle brown.
Yeah, I'm a chicks.
Oh my God.
Linda going by there. Wanda down there on the bottom, I believe.
You guys are sending me something. You're sending me
Great moments, folks. Great moments. Last year at this rally house was a time to I'll never forget.
It was good fun, wasn't it, Richard?
Oh, how you doing?
By that time, I was in bed because I was so embarrassed. Oh, that was me singing, I think. Oh my God.
down. Yeah.
I think there's one final verse here.
There was quite a lot of Southern comfort consumed, I think, that night.
I think this is before the dance-off, too.
It is, yes. Because I ended up
rope light around the crown molding. Hell yeah.
Oh, it was a fantastic house, wasn't it? It was amazing.
It was.
Oh my God, how embarrassing is that?
I love Denise's laugh. Oh my God.
We have done that on so many other occasions in a local pub that we go to called the Glue Pot, and we have done that rendition quite often.
Right.
Not that we've got it down to any kind of great detail by any manner of means, but it's always funny to any karaoke. Get this beautiful South Honour grand.
Right. Hilarious. And I love it.
Aye, that's a good
Will
one.
you be my locksmith tonight? Will I shout?
It's just talking is in the background here.
Yeah.
We heard.
He loves to do that.
How long does a tear take to dry?
Oh, how long does a tear take to dry?
Will you be my locksmith tonight?
Will you be my locksmith tonight? Will I shite?
Oh, these are the lyrics for the song, or
Yeah. And of course, in Scotland, shite's quite, instead of shit, it's shite.
Right. Yes. Right.
Everything's shite.
Take a shite.
Yes.
Shite.
They don't say drop it. They don't say drop a deuce over there.
No, not at all. Shite. And I'm on another call as well, so I'm going to head back out. Nice seeing you guys.
Yes.
Bye,
You're
Eunice.
doing a
Nice
good
seeing
job.
you, Eunice.
You're doing a fab job as usual. Take care.
Thank you. All right. So hello,
God,
Mitch.
Eric. Hey, Eric. We take a Ken Kratz is what we take over here.
Yeah, right. Ken's number 2.
Ken's number 2. He's my favorite number 2. Oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah, I was in a house recently where it said, I saw this thing hanging on a wall and it said, toilet jokes aren't my favorite jokes, but they're a solid number 2.
Do you know what, dude? That is exactly the sort of stuff that Beavis and Butthead would laugh at.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Or Sharon Sunshine. Sharon Sunshine. She likes the corny jokes too. So
that's cool. That is. That is not nice.
Hey, she likes the corny jokes. Go check her Facebook feed. You'll see. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she does.
All right, so we got Mitch here. So
hey, it's me.
Yeah, it's been a while. Been meaning to have him on for a while. So we finally got the state's response, and there was a few people that Mitch was going to have take a look at it and stuff. And I guess you've only had one of those people so far were able to.
Well, as far as the state response is concerned, my buddy Dave, the judge, he read most of it, but I would say he was pretty embarrassed by what he read, simply because it was so vague, it was so misleading, and I had a quote from him that I said on Jane and Diane show a couple weeks ago. Here, I want to read it again here because this is what he said about what he wrote here. So he says it's a book of misdirection and vague responses. The state emphasized more on what Avery said rather than providing proper responses and legal precedents. Legal precedents must provide direct wording, to be used to challenge a claim. Just because a legal precedent sounds like it is relevant does not make it so. The state response is just pure garbage. That's what he felt about it. Yeah. And we probably pretty much can agree on that. What we all read.
Yeah. Any attempt to try to explain how you didn't violate statute because you gave the family animal bones, whatever the hell bones you want to say they are, bones that couldn't be determined to be human bones, or that might, or that were possible, whatever you want to say, you gave them back to the family. So yeah, I really there's just no excuse.
You got 2 violations right there. Judge Willis's order, the state preservation order are violated right there, and right off the bat, let alone is it human bones or not human bones garbage now that we're hearing, just unbelievable.
Yeah. It's, and it brings me back to, all right, let's get into the how convinced I am that the agents of Wisconsin give a flying flip about victims. Okay? In the state of Wisconsin, I can tell you I've seen enough evidence to know they don't give a damn unless it suits them. Now, if it suits them to care about victims, all day long and twice on Sunday.
You mean like hide behind the whole box?
Exactly. For instance, hiding behind the hall box. It suited them just fine to hide behind the hall box for a very, very long time, right?
Yep.
And so that's where I'm going to start with this, right? They were hiding behind the hall box. You see Brad Schimmel at Brendan's, on bank, whatever, when he goes out to talk to the press after the on bank oral arguments and stuff, and he's out there, and the press start asking him hard questions about Brendan and that sort of thing, and some of the things that were said. And what does he immediately do? Oh, he wraps himself up in the hall box, talking about, oh, I wouldn't do anything without the hall box being this and that, and the hall box this and the hall box that. Wraps himself all up in the hall box. You know what I mean? So I saw enough of that. But then I was speaking with Steve Arado here the other day, yesterday, and he brought up something very, very interesting that I want to share with you guys because it also falls into the whole thing about Wisconsin and how they treat victims there. If it isn't something that they favor or is in their favor, right? So I wanted to, for those of you who don't know who Steve Arado is, Steve Arado is one of the owners of Eagle Nation Cycles over in Neenah. It's just an hour west of Manitowoc, 45 minutes west of Calumet, really, really close by. Okay. And he pointed this out to me because he saw Ken Kratz at this thing. So what you need to understand is Steve had an unfortunate incident with his wife and their child had an accident. The child died, and there was just a lot of things that went on with it. And at the trial, when Steve wanted to speak at the trial, when they were trying to convict his wife of like some kind of manslaughter, some kind of thing where they were trying to give her jail time over what had happened. He was trying to give evidence and they wouldn't let him. The judge wouldn't let him. Judge blocked him, brought deputies in to sit next to him in the courtroom so that he couldn't get up and try to do anything. Really, really kind of bad stuff. He ended up petitioning and he got in front of the Crime Victims' Rights Board. Some of you may remember that name that I just said. You hear Paul groaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they went before the Crime Victims' Rights Board, and to talk about this thing. So, and Ken Kratz was there. Steve saw Ken Kratz. Ken Kratz was there. He was like, the prosecutor guy. He actually said that this meeting took place for this judge. The judge's name was Judge Wolt. Okay. For this judge, everybody met up at this hotel. And there was like this big suite that they had gotten, and that's where this kind of like little mini courtroom was kind of set up in this hotel. Interesting. For those of you who might be interested, I thought that was an interesting part of the story. So they get there, and Steve tells me when Judge Wolt refused to let me speak at the sentencing of my wife, I had filed all the necessary paperwork and got two cops sitting on top of me, making sure I wouldn't speak. I filed charges against the judge with the Crime Victims' Rights Board. It was a couple months later. I was told to go to a real nice hotel in Oshkosh. When I got there, I had a police escort to a room that was set up like a courtroom, large like a not sure, but could not believe what I was seeing. I guess when you file charges against a judge with merit, they take it seriously. The judge had a high-profile attorney with him, and I had a bunch of pictures of my son. Well, the point I am making in this, is the person in charge was Ken Kratz, a name you might have heard before, and the board found the judge guilty. Okay, and this is going to be reminiscent of King Len Kaczynski, folks, and you already know where I'm going by saying that.
Yeah,
the court found the judge guilty, and his sentence was basically don't do that again.
Yeah.
Funny when the other side is found guilty how that works. Okay, so folks, Steve was a victim in this.
Yeah.
Now, he was a victim twice because he also didn't believe his wife intentionally killed their child, and so he was about to lose her to prison. So how much of a victim is Stephen Arato of the state of Wisconsin, and not just in the hostage shooting that took place with his friend Michael Funk? So this is why there's a stink in Wisconsin, folks. So there's the Crime Victims' Rights Board. How much does Wisconsin care about that? Obviously not at all, because what happened? Nothing. This judge didn't get any consequences. What's going to stop this judge from doing that again in the future to somebody else? I mean, what's going to stop it? If that's what your Crime Victims' Rights Board, this thing that I've been hearing so much of this, to do about, if that's all it does, it's useless. It's a waste, honestly, of taxpayer money, most likely. if that's all it does. So then let's go back to the Hall box again, because that circles us right back around. How much does Wisconsin care about victims? How much am I buying that line of crap? Okay, well, let's look at the bones. They have these bones that they say that they went back in 2013 or whatever and gave back to the Hall box. Now, they did it with Leslie Eisenberg's early reports, in which those early reports, she believed that those bones were human, not possible human. She maybe wasn't exactly sure if they were Teresa, but she was sure they were human up until about maybe a little while before trial, a few weeks before trial. Suddenly, then those become possibly human bones, suddenly, right before trial. So they're using one of her old reports when she was talking about all these bones were human, and they're using that report to pick out the bones that they want so that they could send back to the Hall box. Okay? Now that they're being called on the fact that they've given away evidence that they shouldn't have given away, now they're saying, no, we didn't violate statute because we just gave them animal bones. They said that at one point.
Yep.
We gave them animal bones. Why are you giving the victim's family animal bones? Put it this way. If you're going to say you gave that back to the family because you care about them, well, you didn't care about them if you gave them animal bones. And number two, you don't care about them if you gave them something that in the forensic report says possible human. You wouldn't insult them. Okay? Unless you actually believed that those bones were Teresa's. And that, for me, is the culpable kind of, observation for me to take from it. So, that was it. I just wanted to say all that about how I think Wisconsin feels about victims and their rights.
Yeah. Agreed. They seem to be more. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
No. Sorry. So you carry on.
I was going to say they show that they really care about saving their own asses. We saw that. Way back when they found out that Stephen was not the one that was the rapist in '85. What did they do? They sat on that. When the lawsuit was coming around and was just getting ready to explode, they're trying to save themselves. So they set this, the Hallbach thing in motion and whatever happens there. And again, they're just trying to, all they seem to care about themselves and all the garbage that's going on with Kathleen Zellner's trying to she's running the roadblocks right and left because they're trying to delay the inevitable. Yeah. Because they're trying to save themselves again, so it's just all about them and not about, you said about the victims. Go ahead, Paul, please.
Yeah, no, it's a question that Tracy Bowman asked earlier today, and it's a very valid question. Who actually asked? Did the Holbachs ask for those bones back, or did the state simply say, look, we've got these bones in evidence, would you like them back? I don't think that question has ever been asked and certainly not answered. I mean, I don't think we can draw any conclusions from the CASO reports that simply says that, was it Wiegert and Fallon and Garn got together and decided that, that they would gather up some of the stuff and give it back to the Holbachs. But, it's pretty damning stuff, isn't it? If you are then handing back evidence that at trial Ken Kratz describes as possibly human, possible animal bones, and you're giving them
because
back.
The best that can be said is it's possible human, right? Yep.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what, whether they're possible human, possible animal. It doesn't matter. The fact that they were given back was in direct contravention of both Willis's and the state, Norm Garn writes the statute and he's defying his own statute. It's just so clearly one rule for everybody else, but one rule for us. And,
right.
and I never liked Norm.
That's why
Garn
they say it's the just us system.
Yeah, but I never liked Norm Garn when he was on about the fact that Sherry Colhane, she had to go against protocol and the DNA test. She could only run it once. She all the history. But Norma Garn then trying to say everybody accepts it. We don't live in a perfect world. Sometimes you have to make slight allowances. Well okay. Make slight allowances for you, but what about everybody else? Where's the slight allowances for everybody else? It's one rule for you, one rule for everybody else.
Right.
Yeah, everybody else has to play by the rules. We can twist and bend the rules. How much we can break the rules as well, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. You know, we're doing the right thing at the end of the day. You know, you don't need to worry about what we're doing. We're making sure that two evil killers are locked up. You know, it's just as Jerry would say, it's just an illusion.
Right.
Yep.
Of
And I
justice.
agree. I mean, looking at what happened to this judge at the Crime Victims' Rights Board, and basically nothing happening, and then that's not real court, right? So let's say, okay, well, that was a real court, right? So no big deal, right? Okay, right? Okay, well, what about Len Kaczynski? Convicted by a jury in a real fucking court. Real people showed up for jury duty and found his ass guilty. Okay, and what happened? Nothing. There you go.
Nothing.
That's the legacy of the state of Wisconsin right there.
Exactly. If you and I had done what he had done, we would have been doing time. You know, if it was a misdemeanor, we still would have been doing time in a county jail, and he got nothing. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's absolutely. It's just you know, I don't understand how they don't understand how bad this stuff makes them look. The fact that this stuff is happening and that we're all out here, you know, watching it happen. It's like, and they just seem to be like, yeah, no problem. Keep trucking on. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
We have another guest here to fire things up. So let's see here.
I sent you something, by the way, dude, on Messenger.
You sent me some pictures.
No, not the pictures. The text that came after it. There's a nice bit of text from a supporter that I was meant to read out during Mamathon. But this is very similar, and this is absolutely wonderful from a supporter who's actually watching at the moment, and I thought it was one of the best written things I've been sent for a long time.
Okay. Well, I'll read your thing here. Hello, Linda.
Hello.
Oh, there she is.
Mitch, you made it.
Hey, Linda. I made it to the big time.
Yeah, you did. You did.
All right.
Linda, what was the final score? Was it 13 all, if I remember rightly?
Yeah,
you can't keep track of your butt whooping or what?
All right.
I got nothing to say to you, Paul.
All righty. So this supporter obviously sent this message to Paul. So we'll read it out now. As we step into another year of coming together to support finding justice for Teresa Halbach, Stephen Avery, and Brendan Dassey with this awesome YouTube live event here at Rally 2020 for Stephen and Brendan. I just wanted to send this encouraging video to all the hosts. I don't have the video, unfortunately. To all the hosts.
I will send you the video.
To remember our why. So often we can fall into a routine and go through the motions without thinking about why we are doing what we are doing. But if we can remember the why, everything changes in an awesome way. All of our education, skill, and passion unites, and the results are amazing to witness. As hosts to many viewers and supporters of this event, your why is on display for the world to see. I have nothing but love and respect for each one of you. Let's get the innocent man home. And I know who sent you this. Much love and respect. So
now you know. But I bet you most people here will certainly in the chat. Exactly.
None.
Are you going to say, or is this going to be anonymous?
No. I think we will protect anonymity unless whoever wrote it wants to.
Well, I thought it was beautiful. Thank you very much.
It was absolutely brilliant, and I think we should respect that anonymity.
Yep. No problem.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah,
works for me.
It was
very,
very, very, very well put.
Well, whoever you are, thank you. It was very, very nice.
Great words.
I don't know what else to say. You know.
Agreed.
Oh, so let's see what's going on over here in chat.
So what was the score then, Linda?
We won. Kicked your ass. You're gone. Done. Out the door.
And Captain Crunch. And Captain
Did we rub
Crunch
your
is
face in
British.
some more dirt?
Oh, we go again.
You had to ask me. I mean, look.
There he goes.
You know, I'm kind of that way. Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Oh,
Capaldi, I'm British.
I'm French. My mother was French.
Well, I'm European at any rate.
oh,
Yeah.
oh my
That's
gosh.
okay.
Whenever I bring out Captain Crunch, he runs away. So.
I think Paul knows a little bit more about Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
And now that Jane Sharp has cast her vote in the crunch,
Yeah, and she said he's French.
So now it's tied up again. So now
I voted already. I can't say.
So anyway.
Can I vote twice? I'll still say the same thing. French. I mean,
many people made that
point
because of his hat. It's a Napoleon hat. So many people made that point.
It sure is. I mean, they have a website you can go to and find out all about him if you want to. That's what I did. Google it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So.
T1.
Yeah. Hi, Diane. I see her.
So, Mitch, now that you made the big time, I suppose you don't want to come down to the little guys.
No, what? Once I made on Eric's show, the rest of you, I'm sorry.
Can kiss off now, right? See you later.
Hey, look, he's gonna have a lot of time to get around to everybody's channels because look, I'm gonna start branching off into other things. Although I am interested to have you on to talk about Daniel Holtzclaw at some point. But obviously we're gonna be all over the place. But I intend for all supporters who have a mind to get vocal and don't actually want to start your own YouTube channel is just start reaching out to us YouTubers.
Yeah.
Come on when you want to. And
I've been saying it for a year. Yeah. Come on.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
There you are. Did you have to wash your face there? I love you, Paul. Tell your wife I love her, and I'm glad I got to see her today because it was so nice to meet her. It was a really, really a pleasure of mine to meet you guys.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you and Wanda as well.
There's my little friend.
Yeah, Wanda was funny because I'd never seen her before, and it's weird when you go to rally, and people come up to you and you feel that you should know them because they know you so well.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I have no idea who you are, and I mean everybody when I met them the first time, they just weren't the same people that I thought they were. Luckily, I already met the Hard and Stacy and the dude. I mean, I must tell you when I arrived in Sydney Airport, and the Hard told me exactly where to go to because I was arriving an hour earlier than those three, and he pulled a trick on me because he never told me anything at all about Stacy turning up. But I'm like, as soon as the dude came up, I mean, he's a big fella, he's about 6'3", 6'4". He is a big dude,
Yeah.
But I mean, he was so stressed out because he'd had that flight of so many hours without a chance to shall we say go and do what the dude does, and he was like away, and then all of a sudden Stacy turned up, but no, the dude was like
a white rush.
He needed more than a white Russian. He was stressed out big time. He was like, and it's like
Mark's
mayhem.
Hi, Mark. He's in the chat.
So Mark shouldn't be in the chat. He should be in his messenger, clicking on the link to join us in studio. So what are you doing, Mark? Hey, what's up? I mean, good to see you, buddy. But you should be with us in here anyway.
Join us.
So
there's Jane.
There comes
hey,
Jane.
boss.
You've been changing your clothes all day long.
The boss. Stop calling me the boss. Have I been a good boss?
Yep. It's been a good event.
There's the boss.
Very smoothly, and it's been very popular and very
great.
So yeah.
Thank you, Jane.
Oh, thank you, Jane.
Well, you've all helped. It wasn't just me. It was a team effort.
Well, I must
A
have been
big
the
Zima.
period on the end of the team because I didn't do shit.
Linda, yes, you did.
I don't know.
Hi, Marine. All right, we got Miss
Oh.
Sunshine here now. If anybody else
Oh,
comes
never.
along, I'm gonna have to ask somebody
Yeah,
to leave.
Di,
But so far, we're good.
and Mark's in the
I
chat.
can easily drop
No,
out.
Paul, you're a host. You need
Right
to
now we're
stay to
fine.
the
I
end.
can too.
I'll let you know if somebody else
You're
comes
outta
along.
here,
But right
Mitch.
now we're good. Everybody's on team.
Okay.
Although
Hi,
I do have
everyone.
to, I have to make it quick.
Actually, what we could do, we
Why
could take
do I
a
look
vote on
like a-
this. Who votes that the do drops out?
Mark says
Yes.
good night, me 5. I
What?
think he means
Me
give
5?
me 5.
Oh, I'm good.
5 minutes.
Oh, give me
I'll
5.
stop
Yeah.
back. Yeah, I'll drop out.
No,
But,
not
hey,
at all. Not at all.
Well, wait the 5 minutes. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. So
Oh,
I'm gonna let
man.
you guys
The
talk.
restroom.
I'm gonna let you guys talk and everything while I do
Yes.
that, and then by the time
Why
that
do I
happens, Mark might be here. So
Which one?
Why do
Go
I
take a
look
go take a
like
Ken Kratz.
dark?
Yeah.
no, not a Ken Kratz.
What's that? Keep my light on.
No. But I might be able to. I might be able to pour him a tall
Is your light
glass of
on, honey?
lemonade, warm lemonade.
You
But anyway,
can't. You don't
sorry.
get. You gotta pass the toilet paper over
Tired.
to him,
Maybe
man.
it's because you're tired.
Pass the
Okay,
toilet
so-
paper over to him, man.
So
Oh, there he
Linda,
goes.
Linda,
Bronzer.
what was the
Toilet
what was
paper.
the final score in the end then? How many did I get, Jane? How many did I get?
I don't think you got any, did you?
What, none?
I think me and Linda won by a clear landslide.
Yeah.
But
You don't
I,
invite
but,
somebody
Gosh.
from Minnesota.
I don't even think you answered one question, mate.
His name.
Gosh. Hey.
Maybe.
You got his name right.
Sorry, Paul.
Thanks, Rhonda.
I think Paul knows Wisconsin now. You might want to ask him them
Oh.
questions
Oh,
again. I'm sure you'll get
Wiggly
it.
Piggly.
Wiggly Piggly, yes, I love Wiggly Piggly.
Wiggly
I do like the
Piggly is
Wiggly
Yeah,
cool.
it might be the
Piggly.
white T-shirt. It might be the
Yeah.
white
It might,
T-shirt.
must be.
I like
And I've
it.
got a white background, but I just
Unless you're
Yeah.
putting bronzer on in the dark.
Yeah, you're very tan.
I
Got
was
mine on again. Got mine on again.
I was before.
Yeah.
You look really tan,
look
like you
beautiful.
got
Well,
out
I'm
in the sun,
Do you know
girl.
what? I can't win because I'm either really white, really pale, and now I'm getting the
It's
powder
a
out.
T-shirt. It
I'm
must
getting
be
the
the
powder
T-shirt.
out
honey.
live and air. Sorry, mate. Sorry, guys, but I'm getting the
It must be
powder out
the.
live
It
and
must be
air.
the. Must be the.
Can't cope with this.
The white T-shirt.
Well, I don't know. Now
Hey,
what
can I
are you
have a
doing?
moment?
Making
Can I-
yourself darker?
No, well, white. White's not, is it?
It's not working.
Wrong powder.
Not working. Need some of
You
this
do-
Linda and Sharon cream.
I
We're white.
You
Why do you all
need.
look normal? You all look normal. The normal
Oh, I
colour,
don't look
normal
normal.
lighting.
Normal.
I
Ooh.
look-
Maybe you'd have been quicker changing your T-shirt.
Oh no, well, I was trying to put
I like
all
that
my,
one.
all my different T-shirts
know.
on for the.
Yeah, I noticed
this-
you changing. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just
And
stuck
this
with
is-
the good old,
Me too.
I know. Well,
Astros rally.
I had mine on for our segment, but this has got Brendan's quote on.
Yeah, I was hoping to have Denise's, but I didn't get it in time.
I
mean, it took
know.
a day for the mug, and it takes 500 days for a shirt. I don't get it.
Well, you know how Erekose said we were to talk amongst ourselves. We've got a makeup tutorial,
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Talked about
What about
washing
shipping,
instructions for.
Turn on the light, Diane says.
I could
like
really
so.
do with,
I've
with a bit of makeup
I like
tutorial,
so.
definitely.
She's got 150
Mitch, up for some makeup tutorial?
but me
Yeah,
green screen will
absolutely.
if
Jump
I
in here.
remove it, my green screen will start carrying on. So
Ah.
I'd rather
You're
look
gonna
dark.
be going
I'd rather look.
scraping it off to go to bed.
So, Paul, how are you?
I'm fine. How are the ladies?
Oh,
Good.
man.
Hey,
I got a
Paul,
question for you,
Paul, I did want
Paul.
to ask you, have you been down to St. Andrews at all? That's on my bucket list to play golf at St. Andrews. I was wondering how close you were.
Well, it's.
You're never coming to Scotland.
It's actually not that far
You're
away.
not
But
right.
to get to it, you've got to go over the Forth
You're
Road
never-
Bridge and round. But I have actually played at a hotel at London Links, which is near one of the golf courses there. So yeah, St Andrews, it's not far away. It's but certainly for Sharon, Glasgow's closer to St Andrews, in fact, than we are, because
Okay.
you're actually I don't know because
It's
you're
maybe about
you're,
the same.
no, we're only about 30 miles to Reading, but no, we'll be about 10 miles nearer in Gala to get to.
But maybe we've got a
St
better
Andrews.
road or something. We might have a better road that's quicker.
Well, no.
You know what these roads can be like.
No.
You never know. You know.
Oh.
You might get this one right, and then he wouldn't be 0 to
It's,
13.
Yeah.
You want to answer
Anyway.
the question?
Sorry, Linda. Yeah, go on. Give us the next question.
Okay. Here's the question.
See if
for
I
you.
can get this
All
one.
right, let's see if you can get it.
Go ahead, Linda.
Then you can say you scored.
Oh.
Where are the most corrupt cops you know of? Your time's running out. Tick, 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 tick.
Put the countdown timer.
I can't help thinking that there was a clue
This is a
to the questions in the first section, because I believe there was 13 questions to which the answer was Wisconsin. So I'm suspecting that this is a trick question, and the answer is something other than Wisconsin. But I'm just gonna go for my gut feeling, Wisconsin.
Yay! No, you didn't get stuck.
For Wisconsin, seeing as they're full of shit.
Well, at least you're not skunked now. You didn't get skunked.
Now,
right?
Paul, I thought you were doing the Eric Morton version of Mastermind when you were on it.
Was he on it?
Have you seen the Two Ronnies version of it where they answer the question before last?
Yeah,
that's funny.
There was some good editing in that.
The thing is, right, there's a skill to being Magnus Magnuson, and certainly the dude is not any Magnus Magnuson, is he? I mean, he was...
Well, he has started and he finished, so...
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I see somebody had to use their wrench.
Oh.
Toilet paper capital.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you know what's really interesting in all of this is that we have these sort of things, these rallies and supporters groups, all that kind of stuff, and I know that there are the likes of the apparently there are guilters out there who but they don't have the community that we have.
No, they don't.
No. They don't have anything. They nothing compared. It's just a lot of the time I can't help thinking it's one of two people. It's those that are emotionally involved in what's going on in Wisconsin, or not just emotionally, but also emotionally and professionally involved in what's going on in Wisconsin.
The guilt are not so loud now that they don't have the PR firm anymore. So.
I've met the most beautiful people in this community, I got to tell you. I really have. I mean, everybody has a great heart.
Yeah.
Everybody's in it for the truth. Let's just keep it that way. I mean, everybody just be good with each other, because we really are a very strong team together.
Yeah.
And that means everybody, not just...
talking.
Not just a few, this group's better than this group. We all matter. Every single solitary person matters in this community.
Definitely.
And we all feel it when we lose one of our own, because we do feel it like that, don't we?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether you've met the person or not. You don't see their name anymore. And this wee one too here. Yeah. When you don't see them anymore, that's how it's like, I'm going to keep this T-shirt,
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to write Mammoth on it, so I can wear it other times, So.
Yeah, and we've lost two really, really great supporters.
Great supporters.
They were wonderful.
That's what
I mean, for me, Rally was really, really great because Denise just did everything. She had everything for everybody. She was so organized.
Internet. She had internet for Erekose.
Yeah, and then we brought Ziggy with us. Ziggy was the lights, and I still got my Ziggy hat, and I got my Ziggy stickers and stuff all over right here. And she sent me a little card, and I will treasure that stuff forever. Thank God I have a lot of videos with Denise. I am so thankful.
She sent me some stickers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll get to look at Denise forever. I'm really thankful. We did a lot together as far as videos, and I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, we were given a lot of stuff at Rally by people going around putting stickers on. I've still got a load of them. Me and the crew down in Australia, when we were there, we got special cards done. We didn't just get a banner done; it was special cards done with the dude. And was it yours and Stacey's?
Yeah. Because I gave them
YouTube channels. Yeah. You know,
I
and then we got some done for the rally. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just handing out stuff, and as I say, just meeting everybody was absolutely brilliant.
Right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Up on the
I've got wee cards I give to people at the door. If I've got workmen or something like that coming, I'm like, have you checked out this channel?
You know what? I wrote this up like this.
Because I'm not out and about and all that so much.
I put a card on here and I passed them out.
And when people come in the door, I'm like, here, take this.
They came to my garage sale last year. They got this rolled up with a card stuck to it. I put it in their bag.
It's all these things, though, they all make a difference. They do.
Yeah.
It's funny when we arrived in Sydney the first day, and we arrived at the places that we were staying, and we went to the bar, which was next door, the Palisade, and we were literally there for about 5 minutes, and we got into conversation with some of the locals, and they all knew about Making a Murderer, and I sent the dude off to go and was it you that went off and chatted with them, dude?
With who?
That went off and chatted with the when we first arrived at the Palisade on the Thursday afternoon when we went to the bar, and you immediately went and started chatting to people about because they were interested in the case. Remember the story.
Three guys, the workers. Yes.
Yeah, and then the little shop, just the corner shop, just across the street there. I had my Brendan Dassey T-shirt, and the first thing that the guy said, "Is he out yet? What's the latest?" It was like you go to Australia, you wear a T-shirt, and immediately people know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing I like about doing all this kind of stuff is it pokes a finger in the eye at all those guilters.
Mm-hmm.
It really does poke, because they hate they hate what we do, because we're shining a light on the vampires that want to shy away from the light.
Right.
Anyway, have you got something lined up, dude? Yep. What have you got lined up for us now?
Yep. This is
I think I've seen this.
Oh no! I was gonna
somewhere in a flaming metropolis.
I think we get to see an early example of a driverless car.
Well, I gotta also tell you, in this year they belong to somebody that we know in the case. Okay, so just remember that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody, mute your mics. Here we go.
Babies, come here. They're not cats. Come here.
They're not cats.
When you whistle and click. Come here. Woo! Move, go. They're just like staring. They are so not impressed. Like, look at these motherfuckers.
Is that you, Linda?
Exactly. Oh my God, look. Come on. I mean, have you guys really never seen us? She's like, oh my fucking God. I'll be right back. Look at him, look. You guys are talking over each other. What the fuck? I'm locked in. Don't do it, Wanda. Do not. I'm from the fucking... No, Wanda, you're not going in the ditch. Talk to the cows. Linda's the dog whisperer. Wanda's the cow whisperer. I'm the one. It's me. Oh my God. gotta jump in the kitchen water. I'm getting out for a minute. What?
So there you
Them
go.
were the Hallbucks cows.
Oh my god.
That was
They
pretty
were the Hallbucks cows.
Wow.
Yes,
so
they
many
were.
moments from rally last year.
Yeah, they were.
Honestly.
Honest to God, I swear. Yes, they were.
Oh my God.
You know how hard.
Well, you didn't see all of it because Wanda, first they were all eating, and Wanda went up to the fence and was going, moo, and they all ran. Okay? So then we went down the street and we turned around and come back and they were there. And so then we just started talking to them and got them all to the fence. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, they can't say everybody in the whole backside's quiet then, can they?
It was crazy.
Yep, good times from rally last year. I mean, there's a lot of moments. I mean, the after.
Yeah, Denise got them all.
Yes, Denise got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So the best one is I mean, for me the best one is the dance off. I mean,
Gangnam Style.
Real world Manitowoc.
Yep.
I mean, she had those. She used to put those little slides in of the real world Manitowoc and everything. I just hilarious stuff. Hilarious.
I like the Gangnam Style dancing.
Yeah, well, that's,
yes, we caught that. Yes.
Of it because it's just so funny.
Have we not seen that?
We have, but I'll play the first.
Did you see him dancing though? Did you see the dude doing his?
Yeah, Gangnam Style.
At the beginning, Denise is looking in through the window.
Yeah.
Her and Allie are out there having a cigarette. And so Paul and I are in by the TV and we're having some discussion, obviously, right? And so she's like, got the camera rolling, got the camera rolling or whatever. And suddenly, because I'm about to put on Gangnam Style, I did the little, Gangnam Style thing or whatever.
Yes.
And so Denise goes, "Oh, I got that on video. It's hilarious."
Yep.
So let me get it up here.
Was that the one where Paul's hips get mentioned as well? Hands in the hips.
Yeah. I loved him and Eunice singing. That was great. That was my favorite part.
It's a little teapot.
See if I can get.
No, to be honest, when it comes to dancing and singing, the good Lord passed over when it came to Erekose. He did not bless him with any talent when it comes to either dancing or singing. So, never mind.
As you will see with my parody coming soon.
Ordinarily, I would.
Oh yeah.
Ordinarily, I would say stick up for Erekose, but after what he said about my jokes, you're on your own, pal.
What you gonna do? Finally fully awake, Mark Hadnot says.
That's a big warning for Scotland.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on, I got the wrong one.
I can't wait for the parody.
You hit the wrong one.
Oh, I can't wait for the parody either. Oh, I just can't wait.
I want to get the one with the beginning here. Hold on.
Listen. After 3 years of knowing him, I've developed good patience. I can wait. Don't worry about it. I can wait. I am quite happy to wait.
Well,
all right. All right, you guys ready for it? Here we go.
No.
He's in the green room.
No.
Look it up on the screen here.
Watch now.
It's Allie and Denise outside.
Oh yes. I'm making a dance floor clearer so
yeah,
we can do Gay Gordons. Yeah.
Listen to him.
I got nothing.
I went past him and said to him, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing, dude? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do, dude?
How did he do that? He's like holding himself up.
Dude, that's not. Oh. What on earth was that?
Windy as fuck.
Play that again. I missed it.
You stoned and he missed it.
Oh my god.
No, do that again for us. Come on.
Oh. One of my favourite bits.
Gay Gordons. He would not.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
No, I do, but I'm saying that's what he says, and it cracks me up. It's just a dance. It's the name of a dance.
Look up here. I quit smoking one because it's fucking cold all the time, and two because like 7.
I just remember them playing this over and over and over again.
Oh my god. Okay, something.
You don't want to dance with them. You're like, now wait a minute here.
What's the dance on tango? Got a dance with what you're trying to teach him?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Maybe some other
No means no.
I don't know if this is the video where
he's dancing with Allie.
It is. All right.
Hey, Allie.
Licks it up and
Skip a little bit ahead here.
it's a drop. Bum bum. Oh, here's Eunice.
And then we go 1, 2, 3,
Right?
He changed the dance moves the whole time. He kept changing them. Nobody
I
could
did
keep up.
not.
Oh, you did.
1, 2, 3, 4, heel turn, and heel turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and heel turn, and heel. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, God.
What's the chair for?
You sitting up.
That was great.
Times.
Mark's in the green room.
Times to remember. I mean, fuck off, dude. Priceless, dude. It's just,
Fuck off, dude. But Paul kept changing the dance moves on Allie. And she's like, how you keep... And Denise goes, you're changing the dance.
yeah, she says it changes every time. And
Paul, it was all the right dance moves, just not necessarily in the right order.
That's so true.
I mean, look. I mean, I was trying to teach the dude how to dance, but it's impossible to fly with eagles when you group with a turkey. I mean, it just doesn't work, does it?
Poor Erekose had the turkey to put up with.
Luckily, Denise and Ali at least had the gumption and the wherewithal to understand exactly what was going on, and they did absolutely brilliant, and that was good. But we've had I would say probably about 3 years of taking the mick out of one another. Probably maybe not 3 years. Probably the first. I would say maybe 6 weeks was mutual respect, and then things sort of descended, didn't they, dude?
They descended because you're Scottish, yes, and everything with the Scot. It always depends on taking the piss in the end.
Did you hear me? I said Mark is down in the green room.
Oh, is he? Okay, let's see here.
He's been there since before the cow whispering.
Right, I'm gonna say cheerio.
No, wait, hold on. I want you and
Oh,
why did he say cheerio?
Because he's an idiot. That's why.
Why you go?
He's
I wanted the host
I was going to step out.
Hey!
wow! What do we got here?
Oh, God.
Hey, ring cheesehead! Where's Polly?
Ring cheesehead.
Where's Polly?
I love it.
Hey, guys. Nice to see you. I'm all the way from Scotland.
No,
Yeah.
I've got the real one.
You still got some of the other flags.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a million of them down here on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
hey, everyone. How's it all going?
Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Very good.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, hey, Mitch, how are you, mate? How you going,
Very
Mitch?
good, Mark. Nice to talk to you finally.
Yeah, you too.
Hey.
So, have you been? I've been listening to you for about 15 minutes, going on about cows and dancing and God knows what. So,
Well, you missed all the good stuff right before that, then, where we were talking
Yeah.
about SCOTUS and various other topics. But
Yeah.
yeah,
you get it on rewatch.
yeah.
Mainly just talking about how great it is to be
Listen
in
to
this
it tomorrow
community.
morning when you're putting on your face.
Yeah, that's right. So, I obviously was having a few little few Z's a while ago, having a snooze, but I'll listen to your recording afterwards. So,
Right.
which will be good. Yeah.
I unfortunately missed Jane and Sharon and everybody because I was knocked the hell out for that one. Sorry about that, guys.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, well.
I got a little bit of it.
I caught the end. I caught the last hour, I think, and a half of Paul's. But yeah, I was asleep.
Oh, so you got up for Paul, but not us?
I didn't get up.
I was up for you, Gal.
Unacceptable.
I happened to wake up, and it happened to be Paul was on. That's how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought you woke up.
Oh, I wake up, and Paul's on, and I'm like, banner at the bottom. Crunches is American, is apple pie, and something else. I'm just like, oh.
Donate to the Dr. Pepper Fund.
Pepper
Fund.
Donations. Yeah.
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 I had to wake up to the Avery.
For you.
I'm not so sure it's good to have that level of havering that early in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm well. I was
give him stick girls.
Yeah, I was pretty worn out after the 5-hour session in Australia yesterday. So yesterday my time. So
it was beautiful. It was great.
So
it was really good.
But it was good fun. I enjoyed it very much. It was lovely to speak to the guests and yeah. So yeah, I'm sure. And I listened to most of the UK session. So I think other than perhaps the last half hour of Paul's session, actually. I think I got to bed about 12:30, about 6 hours ago. I went to bed. So yeah, but obviously I've only just caught this part of Linda and Richard's session, but I'm going to watch it a bit later. So,
right.
But all good.
A whole lot more havering than Paul had.
Yeah, my hair grew a little bit when I went to bed, so I don't know what happened there. But
see that? It seems to get a lot lighter as well.
That's right. Yeah. I'm young. What can I say? And
can I borrow some of that, please? Geez.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
It's called the Donald elixir. He's got plenty of it. So.
Donald elixir. Oh, God.
Does that mean you're brushing it over?
Yeah. That's why I got the hat on. It just starts on both
The
sides
color of your hair matches his skin.
Yeah.
He's Oompa Loompa. He is. Yeah, I mean, he's got wrinkles that are white. The skin is the color of Mark's hair.
Oh, God.
That's fake news, Linda. That's fake news.
Fake news. Yeah.
Makeup.
Oh, wait a minute. Jane's got all that. She was doing that. Makeup.
You should watch Mark's. It was good. Really, really good. He spoke with Tracy Keogh, who's obviously
wonderful.
one of my favorites. I mean, Tracy and I have been, close for a long time just because her and I are, both very passionate about Brendan. And I've, like I said, I've had a friendship with her for a while. So that she was good to see. Love seeing her get vocal and get on and get public. Obviously, as Sandra Greenman, you know, and everything. A lot of good guests over there. Michelle, Dr. Silkman, of course. You know, so it was very brilliant stuff. It was just, you know, and you know, it's always a pleasure with Dr. Silkman. I mean, I had the privilege and pleasure of talking with him during Mammothon. And it's just, I love talking to him about Brendan because he's just right there. He understands all the things I understand. He gets it. Why all these things are, you know, connect in a way that is very problematic for the state. And Dr. Silkman gets that, really gets that, and I really dig that about him. So
extremely intelligent man.
Yeah.
Very
great.
Yeah, he's great to have.
He's very interesting to speak with, and he's a good listener too. He's a really good listener, which is a great skill to have. So, yeah, I enjoyed having him on. As I did all the guests, as you say, Tracy and Sandra and Michelle and Stacey.
Yeah,
that was really lovely to speak with them, and so it was good. Hope everyone enjoyed it anyway.
I caught a wee bit of that, Mark, during the night as well. I caught a wee bit of yours.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking I need to go to sleep because I've got to get up in the morning. But I was like hooked, you know. I really just got up for a drink of water and I thought, I'm going to look and see, you know. And the headphones went on and, you know.
Yeah, it's nice when you do that. Yeah.
But you had
I enjoyed Sandy. Listen to Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Sandy.
She's the best.
I must admit, I got a little. I was in the green room at the time just before I came, and I saw those videos Richard had there of Rally last year, and seeing Denise there was kind of a little sort of sad. But you know,
but hearing her laugh is a little bit uplifting because I love her laugh.
Yeah.
You know, but so there's a bit of a melancholy to it, but. I prefer to remember her fondly and celebrate her life.
Yeah, and we can love her life, her laugh, not loved, you know, because we still love it. Just because she's not there, we still love the laugh, you know. So
absolutely.
I tell you one thing I did miss about having the virtual rally was, you know, Kelly Droster.
Yes.
Oh my God, what a rally voice that woman has got! Seriously, she's like. She's a mobile megaphone, that one. So,
that
free Stephen Avery, free Dundee Nasty. It is amazing. She's just amazing, and she's incessant. You know, she just goes all day. So.
Right.
Yeah.
William was doing that in the chat. He kept doing it in capitals, right?
Yeah, he did.
That across. He was doing it in all the chats.
And free the boys.
And free the boys, Free the boys.
So
too cute.
So it's been. It's been a wonderful event. It's good. I think probably for me the thing is that. You know, as it would never die anyway, but it's maintained the spirit of what rally is meant to be about for supporters, and you know, keep the focus on the case, of course. But I think it just gives us a chance to appreciate how powerful our collective voices are, and both in terms of their intent, that is for the justice for Brendan, Stephen, and Teresa, but also. I don't know. I said in my broadcast how much I learned about myself being part of this campaign, and I'm really grateful to be amongst such a wonderful group of people. So,
yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah.
Diane was funny with the ear horn earlier on. Jane, wasn't she?
Yeah,
break your ears.
I'm just going to send her the link.
What are you sending me?
No, I'm just sending Di.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I can jump off.
So, no, Lindsay, you're a host. Sorry, Mitch. We want to just close down with the hosts.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Bye, Mitch.
Mitch has been in so I figured maybe we'll go ahead and have him go out.
Thanks a lot, Linda. I love you too. I'll jump off here. Thank you, everybody.
But Mitch will be back real soon on our channel, folks, so that we can talk about that. So don't worry about it. You'll be seeing Mitch again real soon.
You're like, bye, Mitch.
Yeah, he knows I was only joking.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. I'm only joking.
Everyone just kept leaving.
Half the time.
Yeah, half the time, more the time.
Hang on, just let me put it in there.
I know you're not supposed to cry, but I did at last rally, so I figure it's okay if I do it at this one. Just different tears. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's see, Mr. Hodnott.
Yes, sir.
Did you tell your own story last night during your live? How you got into this? How you got into supporting Stephen and Brendan?
No, I didn't. No? So, is that a question now?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and ask you that question.
Okay, so it basically happened in April of 2017. So I was a little late to the event, but I'd had sort of heard about the Making a Murderer things. I don't know how, but somewhere, and because I wasn't a subscriber to Netflix or anything.
Hey.
Hi, Diane.
Hello.
And I was heading home to Australia, and I was going to London first, and my daughter was there. She's a school teacher teaching in London, and she's sort of a like mind to me. And she said, "Hey, Dad, there's this show I want you to watch." And I said, "Okay." And so I sat down with her and watched the first episode of Making a Murderer, and then watched the second. And it was getting late, and she said, "Oh, I've got to go to bed." So okay. So I kept going. I watched the third and the fourth that night. And then the next day I was jumping on a big plane to go back to Australia. And so I subscribed to Netflix, downloaded all the episodes to my phone so I could watch it on the plane. So I watched it. As soon as I sat on the plane, got on board, I had the headset in and was watching it. And that's where it began. And 13 times later, I've watched it. The whole series of Making a Murder 1, and then from there I kind of went seeking interest in this matter, and I came across Erekose, and who was at the time also encouraging other people to make videos, and that's what I did, and that's kind of the rest is history. So
yeah, and I can tell you that flight from Australia, folks, it's plenty long enough to fit either of the entire seasons.
To watch it 13 times in the one flight.
Oh, no.
That was a killer flight. When I flew to Australia, that 15 hours there, and that, it was 14 to 15 hours there, 14 to 15 hours back. Oh, God, folks.
Well,
me. I've never sat still for that long. I can't remember the last time I sat still for that long.
No, and Mark, you do that all the time.
Yeah,
wow.
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
Try
24 hours. That's how long it took me.
Yeah, it's 24 hours from the UK to Australia. Yeah. It's only 14 or so to Los Angeles.
Wow.
But
insane.
Guess I'm never going down under.
It's worth it, though. I mean, look.
What are we?
If you can just sleep for most of the flight, I mean, and that way you don't have to. I
can't sleep on a plane.
But if you can do that, it's great. But
I don't like missing anything.
It's a good time. I mean, it really is.
I read all my MAM books, like Wrecking Crew and Unmaking a Murderer and all those I read on the plane because you're captured, and it's a great place to catch up on your knowledge. So
right.
So that's been really good.
But
funnily enough, in preparation for these broadcasts, I had to sort of dust down my YouTube channel and wind it up again, and I was looking at some of the videos in there, and I thought, oh my God, there's that 12 Wisconsin Days of Christmas video in there. That was one of my earlier videos where I did a Wisconsin version of the 12 Days of Christmas. So if you want to have a chuckle at my expense, go and have a look at that.
Got the little thing putting on the light show.
Why would we ever think anything was humorous? Looking at you right now, Mark, why would we think anything was humorous?
What's humorous?
Sorry.
That's a Sunday best, but don't you put him down.
I'm Scottish, I can do it.
I feel underdressed.
Hey, what do you mean you're Scottish? I'm Scottish. See, there's my flag. See?
You're a mock joke.
She said she has the real one.
Tape, does that help?
Yeah.
I'm getting the real one.
I was out playing golf at St Andrews today. I heard that conversation earlier. So.
Oh, Mitch will be mad about that.
That's why my hair's a little blowy, you know, just in the wind.
He's not. You're not using the right conditioner.
I look happy about it though.
All right, so we haven't got to hear too much from Diane Lowe Misty, seeing as she only just got here. So why don't you tell us your story about how you got involved in helping Brendan and Stephen?
Oh gosh, well, I watched Making a Murderer 1. Probably start of 2018. But at the time I was just really busy. And then so because I'm a nurse, so I just like carried on doing my thing. And then at the end of 2018, everything kind of just came to a halt for me in my life. Everything just was kind of a bit up in the air, and that's when I watched Making a Murderer 2. And I saw Kathleen on there, and she kind of made me sit up and pay attention to it. And then I started getting on Twitter and speaking to you guys and reading more about it. And, you know, the more you get engrossed in the story, you meet some amazing like-minded people who feel as strongly as you do. Like, I realised that I actually feel really passionate about wrongful convictions and like injustice, and about people abusing their positions of power to hold it over other people. And that's why I stuck around, because I've met some amazing people like you guys who feel the same, and I'm so pleased that I'm a part of this. So, you know, thank you for being
that's
amazing.
Wonderful,
Thank you for joining the fold.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
You know?
Yeah.
Tell them what you're
That's
going
how
to
we
do.
get stronger. Is more and more people continue to add to the chorus, add to the choir. You might say, but yeah, the more and more. So thank you for lending your voice to it, because the more we get, the better we are.
Yeah, but it's better than that. Tell them what you're gonna do.
I'm going to be starting my master's in law in September.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's something. It's something I've wanted to do all my life, but I've just never really. I've never really thought too much about it. I thought I probably wasn't capable of doing it, and it wasn't. I think that's why I've been so inspired by this whole movement, and especially by how amazing Kathleen is.
And she follows you, by the way.
Yeah, she's inspired me and my life in such a big way, and it's changed me, and my whole direction in life. So, like, yeah,
that's great.
I think she's awesome. I've got a book in the background here. Woo! Wrecking. Yeah, but
that's amazing, Diana. Congratulations for seeing the way towards that. It's such a wonderful thing. So very proud of you. So,
thank you.
And she's looking for a man. She's looking for a man with a surname of Z.
I've got a few brothers.
Just, as long as I've got the surname, has to be a Z.
Trying to marry me off.
Yeah. Wait a second. Does she have a video like Moscow?
No, but it has to have a surname with a Z or a Z, so she can be DZ. No, DZ, like, KZ. Yeah.
Sharon nicknamed me that earlier.
I thought
we were laughing as awesome as she is, then I'll be quite happy with that.
You will.
I thought she just wanted to be dizzy.
No.
I'm already that.
DZ.
I thought it was Dizzy too, but it's DZ. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. DZ.
Sorry, I got American ears.
DZ, but I couldn't help myself.
I got American ears. I'm sorry.
Oh, this might help. Oh no, hold on.
Oh,
that was a fail.
You could have signed up.
That sounds true.
We kept doing that earlier on. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Where's your little thing there,
Is
James? There, you look at that thing.
Erekose, that's what you missed earlier on. Air horn, noises, dating it, setting up.
Where are the boys?
What do we want?
Justin!
When do we want it?
No!
There we go. This has been fantastic. I love everybody. Thank you guys for doing this, for being a part. It's wonderful.
That's you.
Who drink is? I know. The one with the smile at the Cheshire Cat.
That's right.
I liked that K video earlier.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go check out Mitch's.
T1 said that he could tell they were the Hallbuck cows because they didn't show any emotion.
I'm pure laughing at what Alice wrote. Still forehead. No, it's Iron Brew. Yeah. Yes, it is. I thought I would represent, you know.
Yeah. Right. Iron Brew.
Like
William tells me there's a fair amount of vodka in that. So.
What, Iron Brew?
Yeah, I didn't bring no Jello shots. Sorry, guys.
That's a William.
No, not generally.
William's telling on you.
I've heard about them.
It's just Iron Brew. It's just Iron Brew.
Sure it is.
It is.
All right.
Well, I've got to go up for tomorrow.
Mine's empty.
I think now in the closing 3 minutes, we should give the boss a chance to go ahead and share her thoughts with how well this rally went, since it was really she was the driving force behind it. So I'm gonna give her a chance to talk.
Woohoo! Well, as long as you play the parody after.
The parody.
The parody.
I still intended to put video to it, and I wasn't quite ready to. But
yeah,
I'll put it. I'll tell you what. I'll upload it as is over on the Doctor Who channel, and then I'll upload it onto this one later when I get the video added in. So that's what I'll do. I'll upload it to Doctor Who. So.
Go over to Doctor Who and get us a laugh.
I don't want to upload it on my main channel yet because it's not ready. So
and because we don't
want
you to prematurely do anything. You know, just leave it.
I want to go ahead. When I upload it to my main channel, I want it to be completed with the video.
Premature upload.
Push the button.
Yeah, it's going to be embarrassing enough with me singing on it. I want some interesting video there to distract people from my singing. So anyway.
Mark,
listen,
I can't hear.
I really wanted us to go out with a good laugh.
Yeah.
Well, come on, Jane. We got to hear it a little bit, so
yeah,
it was good.
Well,
like I said, I'll put it out on the Doctor Who channel. And
okay, thank you.
But and then we'll have to wait for the finished version with because like I said, I was hoping the video was going to distract from my terrible voice. So anyway,
yeah,
it's your voice that's what makes it so good.
So sharper than the boss. What was your impressions? How did you feel that the rally went? Yes.
I think everybody else was being a bit modest because you all know full well I certainly could not have I might have the idea might have came out of my mouth.
Well, you're also the one that was championing the.
I might have.
Let us speak.
I couldn't have done this without all the help, without all the hosts, everybody involved. It was a team effort. And, I want to thank you all. It was just an idea I had, and I thought, we may as well try it.
Yeah.
And
let's not forget to thank Fen for her beautiful rally video.
Yes, thank you to Fen.
Thank you, Fen.
Yeah, that was great.
Yep,
it was.
Everybody that contributed.
Oh. But thank you to all the hosts that were involved. Thank you to all the guests. Everyone, thank you to all the viewers for watching and staying with us, because there's some people who've been here the whole way through. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was worth all the stress.
Right?
Yeah.
It always ends up being worth the stress in the end.
But do you know what though? Do you know what? When I say it, the stress, the only thing that gave me stress is the bloody time zones.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me the most stress. Everybody was so like just willing to do what, you know. So I you know, it wasn't the people, it was the fact, it was the bloody time zones. Because everyone just went out the way to
Well, I don't know how you can't when it's for a good cause. So I was happy to be a part. Thank you very much.
It's the only time I'll have a 6 o'clock start on my day off.
What was the final?
I know we're a bit up late and a bit early.
Well, Paul, I think it was about 20 to 1, wasn't it?
The score. I'm not sure.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh yeah, he lost. Well, no, he didn't. He didn't get skunked because we gave him that last question.
That's what I said. I said the score was about 20 to 1.
Didn't he make Didn't he make the mastermind?
Yeah.
How did he lose?
He lost.
All the answers were West Coast.
Because me and Linda are clever.
You don't ask somebody from Minnesota to talk about Wisconsin. It's my neighbor.
I'll give you a clue, Diane. It's not the first mastermind that Paul orchestrated. And you might be able to go find other masterminds, and you might find an answer to your question as to how he could compose the questions and still get all of them wrong.
Well, Paul, he missed his mind when he played. So forget the mastermind. He missed it.
I mean, that's why I'm
good fun.
going to say something.
The question about Jerome and really liking the Tottenham Spurs and the
I'm Billy.
Yeah, and like that whole thing got so convoluted. I would give him crap during the game, going, seriously, why is Jerome in this? Oh, because he lives in Belgium. Oh, in Bruges. Why is Millbilly in this? Oh, because the Tottenham Spurs. Oh, so those are your segues. Okay, got it. Now I'm on board. All right. Anyway, oh my God.
So Jane, William was asking, are you going to do it again next year if we're still, on a lockdown? God forbid. Would you be happy to organise it?
We
might be out of a lockdown and then end up back in one temporarily.
Well,
we'll do it.
Look, at the end of the day,
anyway.
Go on.
My thought is this: anybody that isn't physically in Manitowoc next year for rally, that's here or that has a YouTube
don't talk to me.
Should be going live. Should schedule an event just like this one, so that those of us that are there on the ground can be feeding you guys stuff.
Yes.
And doing stuff like that
this year.
We can
order the
rally
pizzas for us
even bigger. I think this gives us the potential to make rally an even bigger event next year than it already is.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I might just blow you all off next year because I've been getting a lot of Ouija's telling me that we should do a Scottish one. So I might not be the one that's stuck in anymore. I might be the one that's away in George Square,
We already said earlier, Sharon, that we were going to come and do a
road trip.
Bottom to top
rally. The M7. It was at the M6. M6.
It's route M6. Rather than route 6. Me and Jane are going to start from London and work our way up the country until we get to Scotland.
You're going to pace yourself,
Not route
in a camper van.
M6.
Yeah, M6. Oh, God.
But yes, definitely. Of course I will, because it's for Stephen and Brendan. This is all for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sat here now if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be with all you lovely people who are met if it wasn't for Stephen and Brendan. And I always say this, and sometimes I feel selfish saying it, but sometimes through a tragedy, you find light, and you are the light.
Yep. Thank you.
You are the light of this tragedy, because we would never have met if it wasn't for this case. So
yeah. That's
Sounds like you're going to start singing.
None
of that.
Yep. And then
I liked how we all sang something different.
Yes, a different song.
It's called the Mum Medley.
Yeah. It's available on iTunes.
iTunes.
all right.
Well, thank you guys.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you so much
to everyone.
Yeah.
Really good.
Thank everybody out in chat. Because if it wasn't for all of you, we wouldn't have anything.
Yeah,
So
I know we wouldn't have an audience.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sat here doing it for nothing. So everyone in the chat is just as important.
Yes, they
absolutely.
are. Yes, they
And all
are.
the mods.
Absolutely.
And all the mods.
Yeah, all the mods.
Like,
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, thank
it's
you.
been brilliant.
You know, again, just thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you everybody for taking part. If you did, I mean,
just one last for the road.
If you were out there retweeting the links and retweeting the tweets so that other people knew where to find this, thank you. All of it. It's every little thing helps. You know what I mean?
It does.
Yeah.
So everybody be looking for me and Sharon tomorrow. We're going to be over on our other little channel where we do the funny news.
And what's it called?
Indie State for the Sunshine.
The sometime Ouija.
Sunshine Ouija.
I'm thinking we may change something less of a mouthful, but for now, that's what it's called.
Who picked the name? Who picked the name?
Yeah, well, it might have been me, but I
no
might have been
about it.
Delirious when I chose it, so I might end up changing my name.
Yeah.
Him and her.
What time does it start?
So we're looking to start
in the Ouija.
My time, which is about 2 Central.
Thank you, Fen.
So that'll be 3 o'clock Central.
No, noon my time. Wait, is it 3 hours?
It was a joke.
8 o'clock for us.
It was a joke.
Yeah, because of the time zone.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Oh, what?
Because of the week before.
Oh, right.
Oh, I see. Never mind. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Everybody's a comedian. I love it. Anyways. All right.
All right.
So, anyways, Sharon and I will be there talking about that. And then those of you who have an interest in Tiger King, I will be speaking with Charles Boswell again tomorrow evening. Candidate for Hillsborough County Sheriff. We'll be talking about Don Lewis specifically for those of you who have been following Tiger King, so be tuning in for that if you have an interest. Thank you, everybody, for being here as we continue to bring support and awareness for Stephen and Brendan and other wrongful convictions. It's an important thing that we're doing. So, and it's an important thing and great that you're all here supporting us as we're supporting you and we're supporting Stephen and Brendan.
Yeah.
It's just we all come together and become greater as the whole that we create than we do as the individual pieces.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being here. Everybody want to say wave goodbye to everybody there?
Bye everyone.
Hey, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Yep.
Yeah.